I'm Natasha Kirchuk, and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. Coming up in today's newscast, President Trump might have leaked Israeli intel to Syria's biggest ally. A top Israeli official says American Jews have it easy. And it looks like turkeys can take a gobble of relief because Israeli scientists may have just found a way to save them from your Thanksgiving feast. Stay tuned for the latest news in Israel. Vanity Fair is claiming that U.S. President Donald Trump has shared classified Israeli intelligence with top Russian officials. Now, this is exactly what many suspected back in May when Trump hosted members of Russia's foreign ministry in the White House, allegedly boasting of Israeli intel that ended an ISIS plot to bomb planes using laptops. If this is true, it means Israeli intelligence cooperation has been massively compromised. Trump's open comments on classified Mossad ops in enemy territory would endanger the lives of Israeli agents in the field, and many of whom use secret names and identities. On top of that, for Trump to share this information with Russia, which is Syria's biggest ally, would mean Iran would definitely receive this intel as well. That's apparently why top Israeli military officials, anonymous at this time, have spilled the details of Trump's leak with Vanity Fair. One is even quoted as saying Trump betrayed us. The operation in question involves Israeli agents entering northern Syria and planting a secret listening device within a cell of the Islamic State. That operation went off without a hitch and gave Israel the critical lead that ISIS was intending to attack airplanes using bombs hidden inside laptops. The United States acted quickly with this information with a temporary laptop ban, saving countless lives. But if this new report is true, it means Trump has now put countless Israeli lives in hot water. Now, another controversy is swirling around accusations made by the group Breaking the Silence, an organization that releases the alleged testimonies of former IDF soldiers who accuse the army of human rights violations. An Israeli court has decided that one of the group's members, who claims he beat a Palestinian while he was an IDF soldier in the West Bank, is lying about what he did. But now Breaking the Silence has fired back, releasing a video they say proves him right. Breaking the Silence, which receives most of its funding from abroad, is known for its intense and controversial criticism of Israeli policy in the West Bank, releasing alleged testimonies that the Israeli government believes are totally slanderous and deliberately harmful. That's why the courts have opened an investigation into the story that Dean Issacharoff published online, in which he confesses to allegedly beating a Palestinian he detained in 2014. The state offered evidence that the Palestinian in question denied being beaten and ruled that Issacharoff was lying. Prime Minister Netanyahu celebrated this decision on Facebook, saying, quote, "Breaking the Silence lies and slanders our soldiers around the world. Today, this fact received further proof, if anyone had a doubt." Now, some believe the Prime Minister's celebration may be premature. New evidence offered by Breaking the Silence, including this video of Issacharoff as a soldier in 2014 hauling away a handcuffed Palestinian with bruises, may lend some truth to his claim. The group now claims the state interviewed the wrong Palestinian. Israeli media tracked down the Palestinian seen with Issacharoff in the video, Faisal Natshe, who says he was indeed beaten that day but can't remember by who. The state may choose to reopen this investigation if it sees fit. A joint Israeli-Palestinian-Jordanian project to restore dropping water levels in the Dead Sea has hit a major snag. Israel is threatening to bail from the initiative altogether unless Jordan finally reopens the Israeli embassy, but Jordan is refusing and says they'll move forward on the project with or without Israel, no matter what.
Written that they can make the Jordanian people thirsty, but I think this is just only a propaganda and maybe trying to influence the public opinion somehow to push them to accept the return of their ambassador and so on.
The plan was originally meant to funnel water from the Red Sea through Israel and Jordan into the Dead Sea, where water levels are now at an all-time low. This is a crisis for both countries since it affects not only tourism, but also makes Jordan more and more dependent on Israel for water. But relations between Israel and Jordan took a sharp turn for the worse earlier this summer when a Jordanian man attempted to stab an Israeli guard stationed outside the embassy in Amman. The guard shot at and killed his attacker, and another Jordanian citizen was killed in the crossfire, prompting an evacuation of all Israelis from the embassy. Jordan is refusing to reopen the embassy until the guard is prosecuted in Israel for the 2 deaths, and diplomacy has been strained ever since. This is why Israel is now threatening to pull out of this joint water project. It would certainly be a shame for our natural resources to suffer due to failed diplomacy. Israel's deputy foreign minister has just set off a firestorm of a debate. Appearing on live television, Tzipi Hotovely has just implied that American Jews have things easier than Israeli Jews, since most Jews in America don't have children serving as soldiers. ILTV's Aaron Porras is here with us. And Aaron, where did these comments even come from?
She clarified her comments, first of all, a little bit later, and I'll get to that in my report. But her comments, regardless of what she said in the end, her comments basically sum up to about the same thing, which is what she said in the beginning, which is that, in her opinion, American Jews are less encumbered in their day-to-day lives than the typical Israeli, specifically with respect to the fact that Israelis have to deal with, military and terror-related issues more often.
Interesting. Now, what has been the reaction or kind of the general consensus among American Jewry after hearing this?
Honestly, I think I would describe it as really extreme, kind of over the top, to be perfectly honest. There are a lot of organizations that are calling for her resignation now, calling for her to be fired if she doesn't resign. And I don't know, that's a kind of a dangerous slope, in my opinion, to fire somebody over an espoused opinions, something like that, where it didn't hurt anybody. But thankfully for Hotovely, it doesn't exactly look like it's going to head that way, at least not yet. But I'll get to more of that.
Well, this is what happens when Israelis, follow their true form of being as honest and blunt as possible, which is, I guess. Strange story. Let's check out your report.
People that never send their children to fight for their country. Most of the Jews don't have children serving as soldiers, going to the Marines and going to Afghanistan or to Iraq. Most of them are having quite convenient life. They don't feel how it feels to be attacked by rockets, and I think part of it is to actually experience what Israel is dealing with on a daily basis. And still creating an amazing place.
These are the words just spoken by Tzipi Hotovely on live television, sparking harsh criticism from Jews in the United States and even in her own Israeli government. Prime Minister Netanyahu has slammed his deputy minister's stance, saying that, quote, "there is no room for such attacks and these comments do not represent Israel's position," end quote. Many are stressing that Hotovely's argument leaves out the countless American Jews who left their homes to serve in Israel's army. And it also neglects that, in relation to population, American Jews have historically made up a huge percentage of the United States Armed Forces. Hotovely is now saying she only meant to point out that Israelis live under constant threats of terror, but this isn't the first time her comments have put her in controversial waters. She once accused the Israeli Arab members of the Knesset of being, quote, "thieves of history," and has been outspoken against a two-state solution with the Palestinians. The Israeli Reform Movement is now demanding Hotovely be fired, given her latest comments over American Jews.
Well, moving on to a more uplifting topic. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love watching acrobatic performances. And here in Israel, we actually have a bunch of world champions. So joining us to discuss the rising sport in the Holy Land is Dr. Ilana Katz, the head of the Maccabi Dan Association. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, let's start off with a general explanation of what acrobatic gymnastics are specifically.
You can see it here in the picture, on the picture. It's groups. 2, 3, 4 members working together. This is something else. This is a show. This is a show. And it is a sport that is well spread now all over the world. It's one of the gymnastics discipline in the International Gymnastic Federation.
But it's not in the Olympics, right?
It's not in the Olympics.
Yet.
And we hope it will be very soon because it's such amazing. Look how amazing it is.
Wow, so there's a lot of contortionism with the body. I mean, yeah, this is unbelievable. I don't think I can do that myself. Now, Israel has actually won some international medals in this sport, including
yes,
this
now
year.
in European Championship last October, we won bronze medal and gold medal. And we are start to be very famous in the world of gymnastics all over the world.
Who knew, right? Who knew that these that we'd have so much talent coming from this little country right now? And also in Poland, the World Games, there was a bronze.
Not World Game, European Games.
The European Games, sorry.
Yes.
There was a bronze medal won by the men's acrobatic gymnastics team, so that was very exciting. So
and
who
girls
are some
from Maccabi Dan too won 3 bronze medals.
Oh, girls as well. Okay,
After
good.
20 years of working, hard work.
Absolutely.
So
Now, who are
surprise.
some of the athletes that we should be watching out for right now?
You can see now it's an athlete from Maccabi Dan. They're making working on balance element or tempo element in 2 different ways of moving. You can see here now she's preparing, and you can see she's lifting in the air. Always it's a couple of women or couple of men, or mixed pair, it's men in the base and women on top. You see balance element.
Oh my God.
Very difficult.
All right. Well, I mean, I think next time we're going to have to bring you in with a couple of these performers, because this is absolutely unbelievable to just watch it. Yeah, this is
to make a demonstration in the Ulpan.
I think that I might have a heart attack watching that inside here, but this is incredible.
Think about
to
their
hear.
parents sitting in the competition.
Yeah, I can't even think about that, to be honest.
1 second, and it can be bad or it can be good.
All right. Well, Dr. Ilana Katz, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about this sport. And everybody, keep your eyes out for Israel in the European Games.
We wish to develop acrobatic in Israel and to build at least 5 gymnastic hall all over Israel, that every child will be able to participate in this wonderful sport.
All right, that's a hope for the future, right? Thank you so much for joining us. All right, speaking of gymnastics, Jewish Olympic gymnast Aly Raisman has come forward with her own horrific story of sexual abuse committed by the former doctor for the women's Olympic gymnastics team. Now, Raisman's courage is leading countless others to rally for change, and it looks like her account is leading to some much-needed revisions within the Olympic community. Former U.S. gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar has pleaded guilty to several charges of sexual assault and will likely face at least 25 years in prison. Raisman recounts the appalling experience of how Nassar assaulted her in her brave autobiography, Furious, words that have resonated with women all over the world and even caused the American Gymnastic Organization to pressure its head CEO to resign. But Raisman points out that resigning is much different than being fired, especially given the fact that the former CEO allowed Nassar to keep volunteering at a U.S. gymnastics team-affiliated club, even after an athlete reported being sexually abused by him. That's why one of the world's most decorated athletes isn't giving up, pushing for changes in the culture that spawned criminals like Nassar. Even off the mat, Raisman is inspiring women everywhere to follow in her footsteps. The Israeli company Redis Labs has just been ranked the 50th fastest growing company in North America by Deloitte's 2017 Technology Fast 500. Joining us now to explain just what the company does and why it's such a great success is the CEO and co-founder Ofer Bengal. Thank you so much for coming in, and congratulations.
Thanks, it's great being here.
Absolutely. Now, this is a big deal. Tell us a little bit about what Redis does and break it down for those of us who don't understand much about this world.
So we are a high-tech company from Israel, and we are providing a database, which is the fastest database in the world. And for those viewers who do not understand what this means, I would say that whenever you have an application, the database of the application is the software which organizes and keeps the data in a way for the application to use it in a fast and efficient manner.
So if you're filling out a form of sorts.
So for example, if you take a banking application, for example, you would like to go online and view your account statement. Now, the banking application needs to go to the huge database of all their customers and fetch your information.
Right.
Now, this needs to be done very, very quickly in order for you to, people are not patient anymore today.
Well, absolutely. And it's not that simple when there are 50 million other people who are signed up in the same account.
Exactly.
Right?
So what we do is we have this type of database that can process millions of transactions per second at average response time of less than 1 millisecond. That's 1,000th of a second.
Wow, so I think that's good for all the impatient people that work with us here in the studio. We're going to have to talk to you because you guys have a lot of customers. I think you have 8,000 companies. Is that correct?
We have, above 7,500 customers. Out of those, we have 6 of the 10 largest companies in the world.
What are those names?
We have, out of banking and credit card companies, we have MasterCard, American Express, Visa. We have 3 of the top 5 communication companies, Verizon, Vodafone, AT&T. We have the largest technologies companies like Apple, Cisco.
So where are you headed next? I mean, you guys are obviously having so much success. This is a company that was started in Israel. Now you're also based in the US as well, right?
Yes, well, there is a lot to do because we are a relatively small company. We have 80 people here which are doing research and development. We have another 80 in the Silicon Valley in Mountain View, California, and they do sales and marketing, and another around 40 scattered all over the world. And, the database market is huge. We are talking about, $40 billion market for last year, 2016, expected to grow to above $60 billion in 2020. So for a small company like ours, there is a lot to do.
Absolutely.
For example, China is a big challenge for us and many others.
Well, I mean, it's unbelievable to hear how successful you guys are doing and with such a small team, relatively. Thank you so much for coming in. The best of luck to you.
For bringing me. Thanks very much.
All right, now this is either the greatest demonstration of coexistence ever or the riskiest publicity stunt of all time. An Israeli Jewish man has been visiting mosques all over the world, including Arab countries like Iran, Lebanon, and Saudi Arabia, and he's sharing his journey on social media. Yes, that's right. There's an Israeli Jewish man named Ben Zion showing off his tefillin inside the Mosque of the Prophet in Medina, Saudi Arabia. The second holiest site to Muslims in the world, and perhaps the last place you'd ever expect to see a smiling Jew. But this is just one leg of an amazing tour all over the Middle East. Zion's been visiting mosques in countries considered to be Israel's most fierce enemies, including Iran and Lebanon, sharing his journey on social media for all to see. And get this, Zion says he felt nothing short of total hospitality everywhere he went, even though everyone knew he was an Israeli Jew. While many see the tour as an incredibly moving message of unity, others in the Arab world are outraged that a Jewish man somehow got access into these holy Muslim sites at all. Zion claims it was all arranged legally through the proper visa channels, but users on Arab social media are so perplexed that they're even trying to crack how Zion might have just photoshopped the entire thing. Guess we had to see it to believe it, but maybe this means Israeli friendship with Arab nations might be way more possible than we ever thought. When you have a small business that you want to take to the next level, it's not always easy to access the capital that you need. Well, that's where the Israeli company Funbox comes into the picture. And joining us now is Product Marketing Manager Aly Raisman. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, what does Funbox do?
So our mission at Funbox is to simplify the way that small businesses pay and get paid. And we do that by providing access to business lines of credit as well as invoice financing options.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about how that process works. So you're a small business, you go to your website, you sign up, and what is the next step?
So signing up takes just a few seconds, and we use machine learning and AI to be able to assess a business's creditworthiness very quickly. And so you can get a credit decision within an hour of having applied. And once you're approved, you can interact with a super intuitive interface to request funds and receive them in your bank account as soon as the next morning.
That's unbelievable. So how did your company choose to focus on small to medium businesses?
Well, 6 out of 10 small businesses in the US struggle to find access to capital. And traditional funding sources like banks, for example, often can't provide them with the kind of credit that they need profitably. So that's where Funbox comes in.
You found the need there, yeah.
Right, we're able to come in and provide funding options that are tailored to a business's needs.
Now, are these small businesses that you guys are working with in the United States, in Israel, or?
Currently, we're working just with the U.S. businesses.
Okay, very cool. So what is next for the company? I mean, how many businesses have you been working with so far?
So we currently have about 60,000 small businesses that we're working with.
Okay.
and growing every day. And we're just continuing to provide different funding options for businesses.
Wow.
As they come up.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Annie, and telling us about what Funbox does. I think this is definitely a very good tool for some of the small business owners who are watching our show to use, right? So
Certainly.
check out funbox.com, right?
That's
Funbox.com. Right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, well, up now, ILTV's Emmanuel Kadosh is here with the top 5 festivals to check out during your visit to the Holy Land.
For all of you out there planning your trip to the Holy Land, make sure to check out these top 5 Israeli festivals to spice up your vacation. At number 1, we have the annual Arts and Crafts Festival, running for more than 40 years in Jerusalem's Arts and Crafts Amphitheater near the walls of the Old City. In the midst of the colorful festival, you can find participants from all across the Holy Land, and even many from European and African countries too. And at night, the festivities don't end. You can enjoy live concerts that are held nearby. At number 2 on the list, we have a summer favorite in the northern city of Tzfat, the Klezmer Music Festival. This year's festival marked the 30th anniversary of the 3-night open-air event. The festival features performances on stage set up in alleyways throughout the old Jewish quarter. If it wasn't obvious by now, you definitely don't want to miss next year's Klezmer Music Festival. At number 3, we have the 33rd Annual Haifa International Film Festival, established back in 1983 and was first of its kind in the Holy Land. The festival itself attracts over 300,000 visitors who attend 280 new films from all over the world, including 70 which are Israeli. The films showcased at the festival are known for their high standards and quality, and most are even award-winning. One of the main goals of the festival itself is to promote ideas such as coexistence and peace. The Red Sea Jazz Festival is 4th on our list. The 3-day jazz festival is filled with a variety of different events, such as performances, workshops, and late-night jam sessions. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the festival, and if you're into jazz, the festival itself covers everything from classic to voodoo jazz. Everything for everyone. Last on our list is the Akko Fringe Theater Festival. The annual 4-day performing arts festival is held each year in the city of Akko during the festive holiday of Sukkot. The festival was founded back in 1980 and features a competition for original plays that are premiered. Over the years, the Akko Festival has become a symbol of coexistence between the city's Jewish and Arab inhabitants. That's all for today's Top 5. Back to you.
All right, well, here is some news that is just in time for Thanksgiving. Israeli researchers have discovered a shocking new breakthrough in turkeys. It turns out the holiday birds actually generate a combustible energy source that could replace coal. And no, it's not in that weird waddle that hangs off of their neck, but in their poop. Now, you heard me right, folks. Israeli scientists believe turkey poop can be converted into an extremely potent biofuel. This would be a game-changing energy alternative that's not only clean, but also renewable and totally safe. The study, authored by Israel's Ben Gurion University, stumbled across the find while trying to dissolve bird excrement through chemical means. Researchers were shocked to discover that when treated with a certain formula and heated, turkey poop could actually combust at a high energy rate, similar to coal. But unlike coal, turkey poop actually generates way less harmful gases as it breaks down, which is why Israeli researchers are very, very optimistic that turkey poop could even replace fossil fuels someday. So if you're a turkey that's worried about your Thanksgiving fate, take a gobble of relief, because Israeli scientists might have just saved your life.
Enroll in eTeacher's online Hebrew courses and quickly discover that it creates the deepest connection to Israel that you could ever imagine.
And now for our Hebrew word of the day. It's Thanksgiving, and we know what is on the menu. So today's word is talanagol hodu, which means turkey in Hebrew. Now, we all asked our parents when we were kids why the turkey we eat on Thanksgiving has the same name as a Eurasian country. But believe me, it's a lot more confusing for kids here in Israel. Talanagol hodu literally translates to the chicken of India in Hebrew, but here's the thing. The turkey actually originates in Mexico. It all goes back to the old world. When the Spanish explorer Columbus arrived to North America, he thought he was in India, and the Spaniards called the talanagol hodu the gallina de la tierra, which means the chicken of the land in Spanish. And since they thought the land was India, well, the turkey you eat every year became known as the chicken of India. That didn't seem to stick in the United States, but fast forward to the year 2017, and Israelis speaking modern-day in Hebrew still say talanagol hodu. Guess we're not as advancing as quickly as we thought. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather forecast. Tonight should be partly cloudy with local showers in the north and a low of about 55 or 13 degrees Celsius. Temperatures are supposed to rise steadily throughout the weekend with partly cloudy skies and a high expected to be around 73 or 23 degrees Celsius. All right, that's it for today's news. Today's exchange rate is 3.51 shekels to the American dollar. Remember to sign up for our daily newsletter at ILTV.tv. I'm Natasha Kirchuk, and thanks for watching.